We're at the Orlo restaurant, 44 Oxford Street, Collingwood, and this is the staircase we made. Now, some of the things I wanted to talk about this is we've made this with a sheet metal balustrade, but there's been some modifications done by the customer. When we made it, they asked us not to coat it because there were things they wanted to do with it on site. So amongst those are that the steps, if you come down, the steps have been welded onto the pole. So we set it up so that it can be bolted and screwed on, but they've chosen to weld it on and take the bolts out. And also on the balustrade here, they've added this piece on the top to cover the gap between our support structure and the sheet on the back. Staff are telling me they're very happy with it, and it blends in very nicely with the way the building's been set up. And this was done by A&O Projects, with the builder. They've added carpet over the top, but it hasn't really changed the height of the step up onto the landing. Whereas, let's say this was a big, thick timber floor, it would change the height of the last step up onto the landing. And if that becomes too different to the other ones, that's a violation of the building code. So if you're planning to have flooring over the top of our landing, we need to know about it, and we'll take it into account when designing the stairs and building them so that you maintain that even height of all the steps. We provided this uncoated. The steps are flat steel rather than the checker plate steel that we often use. And they've added these non-slip nosing strips, which is another way to provide the slip resistance that's required in the building code. If we powder coat the stairs black, or any colour, we build into that a grit, sort of sandpaper-like finish, so that you've got the slip resistance that's required by the building code, and that's been tested by an independent authority, and we can give you a copy of that certification to say that it's got the required slip resistance. This is in a commercial building. This is a restaurant. The building code in Australia has 3 sets of regulations for spiral stairs. One for domestic use in a house or buildings associated with a house, or in commercial use there are regulations for private use, like just staff, and there's a different set of regulations for public use. So this is potentially for public use. There's a dining area up the top here, so the treads have to be wider, and we've made this, I designed it, we made it to comply with all those requirements. So you see it's quite a big size. This is a bit over 1700 millimetres diameter. There's a couple of other things I wanted to point out with this staircase which are a bit different to usual. One is that we've made it with closed risers. The riser is the part behind the step here. Now usually we're leaving that open, and on a small staircase it's important because when you step on the step you don't want to be kicking the back there. But this commercial grade has got bigger, wider steps, so it's not so critical. And in this setting with the restaurant, it's important that you haven't got people looking up the legs of someone walking up the stairs. So we've got the sheet metal balustrade, we've got the closed risers, and it's all just for decency, politeness for people climbing up.